What's up everyone, Vu of nVu Films, and I am back with another idiotic video for you to watch. And today, I'm going to talk about the Sony A7 IV crop mode, APS-C mode, whatever, in your 4K 60. And I know a lot of you videographers, me included, who currently own a Sony A7 IV or have been looking to upgrade their camera or looking to possibly switch to Sony from their trash Canon system, they're a little bit disappointed. No full frame 4K 60 on the new Sony A7 IV. And understandably so, there's a lot of benefits of having full frame, bokeh, etc. Possibly dynamic range, something that we're not really sure about just yet. But when I thought about it a little bit more, I thought about it deeply as a videographer. What APS-C means? It means you are saving a shit ton of money. Think about it. You buy the Sony A7 IV. Don't think about it as a full frame camera. Think about it as an APS-C video camera. You can buy an A7 IV, a Sigma 16mm, a Sigma 30mm, and a Sigma 56mm f1.4 lens combination for an additional $1,000. For $3,500, you pretty much have a A7 IV capable of 4K 60, 10-bit 422 video, and you have 3 prime lenses that are equivalent to pretty much a 24, a 50, and an 85mm in full frame mode, pretty much around like f2, 2.1 based on like where you're standing and the type of depth of field you're getting. Not light. Light is gonna still be f1.4, but I'm saying like in terms of composition and all that stuff, is looking like a 24, a 50, and 85, like f2-ish aperture, which is fantastic for any filmmaker in my opinion. So for $3,500, you have a camera and 3 lenses versus for $3,500 on A7S III, all you have is the camera. And any half-talented videographer should be able to make very good content in 4K 60, 10-bit 422 with those 3 lenses. There's other lenses you get, such as the 18 or 35 with MC11, that's 1835 f1.8 Sigma lens. There's a bunch of sweet, inexpensive APS-C lenses, including Viltrox, etc., that you can get for your Sony A7 IV without having to spend, at the very least, $500, $600, $700, $800 per lens for your full frame Sony. And then another complaint that I've been seeing a lot is the Sony A7 IV hybrid shooters that want to be able to do photo to video and still have like the same, field of view, full frame. But when you switch over from photo to video, you're going from full frame to APS-C mode. And of course, the Canon R6 could do full frame video and photo. But I believe the 4K 60 on the Canon, I don't know if it's pixel bend or whatever, but the 4K 60 on the A7 IV will be sharper than that of the Canon R6 because it is downscaled from a 5.9K sensor readout. Also, if you think about it, if you use your A7 IV as an APS-C photo camera, 1.5 times crop of a 33 megapixel camera sensor is still 22 megapixels. That is still sharper in terms of pixels than the full frame R6 that is at like 20.1 megapixels. So even if you use the Sony A7 IV in APS-C mode for photo and video, you'll get sharper photos and you'll get sharper video on the A7 IV than you would on an R6. Just throwing that out there. And probably you're not gonna have any overheating problems. And also you're gonna have a lot more native glass to choose from for your A7 IV, including those APS-C lenses that are dirt cheap to add to your collection. So right now I'm using a 24mm f1.4 G Master lens on my Sony A7S III. Say you decided to do YouTube douchebag videos like this, looking like straight up grade A trash for everyone to see on the internet, you can use the A7 IV in APS-C mode and then buy the Sigma 16mm 1.4 lens, APS-C lens, obviously, and put it onto your A7 IV in APS-C mode, and you get this similar field of view, but you get slightly less depth of field, which in my calculation will probably be equivalent to this depth of field. So you're gonna go from this depth of field if you use Sony A7 IV 16mm Sigma f1.4, your shot will look somewhat like this. Maybe even more so like this, versus right now I'm shooting at, Sony A7 IV full frame f1.4, so my shot looks like this. The difference in the depth of field is there, but it is negligible. If I told you that I filmed this, APS-C mode at 16mm Sigma, would you be able to tell? Probably not. So that is what it is. So in my opinion, the only thing the A7 IV is really missing that, a lot of us would like is 120 frames per second, 4K, 10-bit 422 on the Sony A7 IV. The A7S III obviously has that with a slight 1.1 times crop. That's really the only disappointment. But now if you really think about it, A7 IV capable of 4K up to 60 frames per second, 10-bit 422 in APS-C mode. Photos in APS-C mode is still 22 megapixels. That's more megapixels than the 12 megapixel A7S III, more megapixels than the 20.1 megapixel Canon R6. That's a fantastic APS-C hybrid camera. And of course, if you're doing more like serious photo work for corporate or whatever, you could always get your full frame glass and shoot in the full frame 33 megapixels of the A7 IV and still have fantastic sharp images and still have that great full frame look that you're looking for. And then when I'm talking about full frame look, I'm talking about a true f1.2, f1.4, but then after like f2, you could get f2 look with APS-C lens, no problem. Like f2 in terms of f2 full frame look. With that being said, guys, I hope that cleared up any confusion with my opinion and a lot of other people's opinions on the Sony A7 IV APS-C mode. And now that I think about it, if you're just trying to buy a new camera, or you're trying to switch over to Sony, trying to get into video and photo, in my opinion now, the A7 IV is indeed the way to go. Because hey, the A7S III, obviously it is the ultimate video camera. It is expensive. But if you want to get pretty much, I wouldn't even say the same image look without having to spend that much money, get the A7 IV, get the 3 Sigma Trinity. That's the 16mm f1.4, 30mm f1.4, 56mm f1.4, and you have a fantastic professional level video camera as well as pretty solid professional photo camera in crop mode. 22 megapixels, 4K 60 downscale from 5.9K. Can't ask for anything more than that. Anyways, guys, with that being said, hope this video was helpful, insightful. Till next time, lighten up.